Hi, welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. Today I thought I would do something kind of simple and easy to make. So I'm going to do three different types of simple post earrings today. One will have some cultured pearls in them, but overall all three pairs should be relatively easy to make. The other two have a little bit of mixed metal. I think they should come out nice, we'll see. All right, well, let's get started. So these are several different kinds of my design idea sketchbooks that are available on my merch store. This one has a conversion chart on the back, which is pretty useful, gauges to inches to millimeters. This one has fractions of an inch to decimals to millimeters, which I use pretty frequently. This one is the one I'm using right now. It has different flow temperatures of different types of solder. But the real feature in these is this dot matrix in the background, for me at least. It helps me to draw better pictures because that is not my primary skill. And I like to keep track of all of my projects, so each one of these pages will be something I did a video about and made a project, or unless it's a tip video or something like that. So I have found that it's a nice way to be able to go back and revisit some projects you did a long time ago that you may have forgotten how you did. At least that is something that I do frequently. So get yourself one or two of these. I think they're really useful. Alright, so this is kind of what I had in mind today. I'm going to do three little simple earrings. I have two of these little kind of cultured pearls. They have a hole. It's about 20, if I can turn this over. On the back side they have a hole in them. It's about 20 gauge. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of a little disc of sterling sheet, probably 22 gauge, making a disc out of it, and then we'll cup it on a dapping block. We're going to have to add a piece of 20 gauge wire on this side and a little tiny stem of 20 gauge wire right in the middle of this in order to glue this pearl right onto that. So we'll have kind of a satellite dish shaped earring, and I think that'll be kind of a pretty little simple one. So that'll be number one. Second, I'm kind of into science fiction and outer space and stuff, so I thought I'd do some little Saturn earrings because I like stuff like that. And I'm going to do the center part with some lightly textured 18 gauge or 22 gauge sterling silver that I ran through the rolling mill, and I already cut these discs out. And I'm going to solder just a little brass ring to it, and then of course a 20 gauge post. And then finally, for the third one, I was going to do something sort of geometric, just three different metals, silver in the back, the biggest square, square on top of that of copper, and then a little square of brass, all of them aligned 45 degrees from each other. And then we'll mount a near wire on the back as well. So they should be simple to make, and I'm thinking they'll be kind of the sort of thing that you might wear all the time if you wanted, if you like them. And a nice way to make a bunch of little tiny earrings for if you're going to do a show or something coming up. They're not going to be super material intensive too, with the cost of silver right now. So, alright, so let's see. I've cut most of these components already just to save time, and I thought we could spend most of our time soldering things together. If you're interested in my torch and my solder and my flux, here's some information about that right there. I use mostly hard silver sheet solder, but I sometimes use some other stuff as well. So this is the disc. I cut it a little bit bigger. Like I said, it's about 22 gauge sheet. So let me get my dapping block and punch, and we can kind of cup that and the other one wherever it is. That'll be our first step. Supposing I can grab it. I'm going to put the side that looks the nicest up. Hopefully. I may do a brushed finish on the inside of this too, using a kind of one of those bristle wheels. I'm not sure what you call those. not going to do too much more. Let's take a look how the pearl looks in it. I think that'll look nice. You have to shape it a little better, maybe. Okay, let's spend a little time trying to file these a bit. My fingertip is kind of messed up, so I'm going to put one of these little finger cots on. Don't want to lose the pearl. That wouldn't be very good. So I've got a little bit of 20 gauge round wire that I annealed because I created this out of some 18. And so we're going to put a little plunk one right in the middle there on the inside. And then I think we'll flip it around and we'll solder a ear wire on the back. And so for the ear wires, I was going to try something different here, just to get a better attachment on it. I made a little loop at the bottom there, so we'll try putting that in the middle and see if we can get it pretty close. So, all right, well, let's give that a shot and see. See if I can find the center too. I'm not always good at finding the center point on things. It'll be good practice. So that's the way to pick up a little bit of solder on the end of the wire. Hopefully that's pretty close to the center. We're going to call that close enough. These are going to eventually be cut pretty short because there's not, those pearls aren't drilled that deeply. And I think we can probably just stick this right side up like that. And with a little luck, not enough heat will penetrate. We can just go ahead and use hard for this one as well. So. I think I fluxed those ones. And we need to flux the back of this too. So. probably be okay. They definitely do look like satellite dishes at this stage. Okay, let's throw those ones in the pickle. I'll let those clean up for a while. We can work on the second one. Okay, so here's those lightly textured discs that I did. I don't even know if that texture is going to show up or not, but that's okay. And I took a bit of brass wire. This is 1mm or 18 gauge, and I made it into kind of a elongated C shape, and I tapered the edges just a little bit like this, so that I can solder it to the sides of this little silver disc right there and there, and create kind of a Saturn looking planet, a gas giant with a ring. So let's see if I can repeat that. Figure out how big a piece I needed there. I just use this one as a guide. Like that. That's not too bad. Just using a half round needle file with a little angle on there. I think that's pretty close. Let's solder those on. Are they perfect? Nah. Are they probably good enough? Sure. If you haven't been to my channel before, or you're new to this, I'm going to pick solder these, which is a type of soldering where I pick up a little bit of solder on the end of this little piece of titanium, and then it allows me to deliver it right where I want it to go. And so I'll use some of these little pieces over here. I don't want to use anything too big. I want it to solder to this, but I don't want it to leave a lot of sloppy mess. So brass solders to silver okay. It's a little weird sometimes. I've seen it sink into silver before. if you're interested in learning how to pick solder, I have a pretty good video. I'll put a link up there for you. I think it's one of those skills that really kind of made things a ton easier for me. So let me make some ear wires for these and I'll solder them on. Okay, let's get these ones soldered on. Every once in a while, ask me if I have problems with different metals contaminating my pickle. And I have not really noticed any problems with it, but I change out my pickle every once in a while, so. Alright, well after those pickle, I'll work on the way they look a little bit. I'm not super pleased so far with the rings. But I think once I clean up where the solder joint is a little bit, they'll look great. So let's let those pickle for a while. And we'll see how they turn out. It's a fun experiment. Alright, third one is we're just going to do some squares. Silver squares, copper squares, and brass squares, like that. So I think let's work our way forward. One of the problems with soldering different metals to each other with the solder that I'm using is when they do flow, sometimes it skates around a little bit, so I may need to position it. I think I'm going to sweat a little solder onto the back of the copper and then solder it down onto that. So that's my plan anyway. It moved around a little bit on me there. Alright, should we try and do the brass part now? Well, let's put some posts on it. I could see something moving around on the other side. I meant to use medium solder on this one, so I'm going to have to turn it over and fix it. Maybe not on that one. This one, however, I think was misbehaving. I'm going to call that good. I got lucky on that one. Okay, so let's let those pickle. And then I'll get them cleaned up, and I'll probably glue that pearl on beforehand so you can just see the finished product. I'm just going to put some epoxy on the stem and on the bottom of the pearl, and we'll just kind of glue it right on that little post, and we'll be done. Got the 3 pairs of earrings done. Here's the little pearl ones. I think those came out pretty cool. Pretty simple. These are the little Saturn ones. The pattern pretty much disappeared on this one. I didn't have it impressed very deeply, but the Saturn ones. And then these ones. See, kind of nested squares in different metals. I like those ones. So let's call this 1, 2, 3. Tell me which one you like the best, if any. I'm always curious to hear what you might have done differently, or what ideas you might have, so let me know what you think. I'd love to have your comment. I'll get some better pictures and put them at the end. Okay, well, that was 3 kind of simple earring post styles that might be appropriate for everyday wear. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I would love it if you'd hit the like button before you go. And I would also love it if you'd visit my main channel page on YouTube. I have over 600 videos now. I've been doing 3 per week for about 4 years. And so there's a pretty good pile of reasonably good content over there for you to peruse. And I think there's lots of skills at different levels that you can learn, as well as just some good ideas for projects. So check it out. Subscribe to my channel. There's no cost for doing that. And I would love to have you as a subscriber. Before we go, I'd like to thank some people. My patrons over on Patreon are my core group of supporters, and they are a marvelous group of talented people who not only help me financially, they've built this really lovely community of artistic folks over there who can kind of help each other out, and I really enjoy tapping into their knowledge base. So thanks for creating that as well. I have 2 new members. I have Mandy and David D. Thank you for signing up. I think you'll find that that's a great group over there, so I hope you enjoy your membership. The other group are my YouTube subscribers, and we just passed 27,200, I think. That's amazing. Thank you for that. I love the comments I get from you guys. You are so kind to me, and I really appreciate the input, the suggestions, the constructive criticism, sharing the way that you do things. I love all that stuff, so thanks for sharing that stuff with me. I do also appreciate your financial contributions, buying my ebook or the merch store purchases or buying me a coffee or the super thanks. All of that stuff makes my channel sustainable, and I really do appreciate that. I probably couldn't do it without your help, so thanks for that. Finally, don't forget to hit the video description down below. There's some important information about this video as well as some links. There's a link to my merch store should you want to get yourself one of those nice design idea sketchbooks I showed you at the beginning, or some other kind of merch that I have. I have a number of different interesting things over there. You should check it out. There's a link to my Patreon if you want to find out more about the various tiers of membership over there. It's a great place with a lot of cool people. We do some live streams, some exclusive videos. There's lots of fun ways to interact over there, so check that out. Finally, there's a link to my newest ebook, which is a guide to 2025's tutorials. I did, I don't know, 170 plus videos last year, and in this ebook, there's a page for each one. It includes a link to the video, but it also includes a picture of the sketch that I drew, a picture of the final outcome, a list of materials you need to make the project, stone information if there's a stone in it, a difficulty rating, and some notes I took about it. Things like, did I like the outcome, and why did I not? Or why did I not like the outcome? How would I do it differently? Or what did I learn from it? Because I almost always learn something new when I try something that I haven't tried before. So I try to share that knowledge with you as well. So get yourself one of those. You can even get the 3 years together that I've done so far, 2023s, 2024s, and 2025s as a package for a discount. So check those things out. Get yourself 1 or 2 of those. I think they're really useful and a nice way to have a whole bunch of projects at your fingertips, and a super cool way to support my channel. So thanks for that in advance. All right, well, thanks for watching today. Take care. Happy silversmithing.